Hey everybody. I just want to say real quick that in the description there's a link to the YHS challenge. The YHS challenge is one of the biggest reasons why we continue to do this channel, because what it does is it helps feed people around the world. $1 will feed one person, $5 will feed six, and it goes on and on. The more you donate, the more people will be fed. It is one of the only soul driving reasons why we continue to put work into this channel. Yes, we're trying to help you guys out, but we're also trying to help out others around the world. So if you could take a look at that, it'd be great. I hope you enjoy this real talk. I know that I appreciate all you guys that listen to them, because I know that they're pretty long and just drawn out and it's just me ranting, but I really appreciate the love and the feedback we get from them. Thank you so much, and check out the YHS challenge in the description. Okay, so today we're going to talk about your gift. Each one of us has a gift. I know it might be hard to believe, but we do. And it's probably not even something that you would think that is a gift, but it is. So like me, I know that I have at least 3 gifts that were either given to me or I've learned. There's definitely 2 that are a positive. My gift is I'm 7 feet tall. I know that's really tall. So I'm actually 6'11 and 3/4, but what I do is I round up because I figure, what the hell, nobody's listening. Kind of like how people always round up on their tax return. Now, the cool thing about having this gift is that I took it for granted for so long. People would always walk up to me and ask me, "Oh, do you play basketball?" Or, "How'd you get so tall?" And it used to bother me when I was younger. I used to think to myself, well, if I played basketball, do you think I'd be standing here talking to you? I'd be making millions of dollars. I'd be in Hawaii or something. But I've learned in my later years that this gift is something that brings happiness to people. It makes them smile. It makes them laugh when I interact with them. I don't just sit there and like say, "Oh, I'm 7 feet tall," and walk away. I actually have conversations with people, like complete strangers, and I love that. To me, that's a gift, not only for me, but also it's a gift to them because I'm able to make them laugh or smile. Because one of my other gifts that my family and friends have always told me that I have is my sense of humor. It's dry, it's witty, it's kind of like a Jerry Seinfeld, just point out the obvious. But between my communications on how tall I am, I can also make people laugh. I'll joke about how my parents are short, or why would I want to be so tall, or, and it's awesome because it brings me closer to realizing that it doesn't have to be something that you learn or you acquire through college or anything like that. We have, so many of us have this already. We already have something that, like I said, was either we were born with or we learned. And unfortunately, many of you, probably like me, when I was younger, take it for granted and find it either more of a bother than it is to talk about it with people. But the thing is, you have to look at it that way. You have to look at, say you're really good at tying your sneakers and people have complimented you on that. I know it sounds silly, but you never know. Like, that could be a gift. If you could go around and teach all the little kids how to tie shoes. It took me years to figure that out. I'm 50 and I still can't really tie my shoes that great. It could be anything. It could be singing, painting, making balloon animals. It could be really just about anything. And what I'm getting at here is that you're able to share it. If you're able to share it, think about that. Think about how you could share that gift, that little thing that you think is silly or whatever, but people love about you. You could share that with complete strangers or with people in your family. You could take somebody that's in a depressed, lonely, mad at the world state and give them a couple of moments of happiness. And it might last them the whole day. It might last them the whole week. It might last them the rest of their life. You don't know. You're just here to plant that seed. And that's what I love about, like, my height. So when it comes to people walking up and saying, "How tall are you?" And I say, "Oh, I'm 7 feet." And they say, "Holy crap." Like, it always leads to a conversation with a complete stranger that is just awesome, because through that, I'm able to make them laugh. I'm able to make them ponder a thought of being so tall. I'm able to help them understand what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes. And I think that's very important. I think it's very important that we learn how to walk in another person's shoes. Unfortunately, the world is just filled with judgment of what it might be like or what it is like to be in those shoes, instead of actually trying to find out what it's like. So my question, and I would love to see it in the comments, is do any of you have natural gifts or gifts that you learned that you like to give out to other people, that you want to share with other people? Because it doesn't have to be, again, anything special, quote unquote special. I mean, it's special in its own right. But what I'm getting at is that it doesn't have to be something where you're changing people's lives, for the rest of their lives. There are so many people, we know it, every one of us sees it every day walking around, and you might even be one of these people that are walking around and they're just sad and they're depressed and they're worried and they're full of fear. And just think that somehow you might be able to change that. Just even for a second, even for a couple of seconds, if you could change that, realize how much power there is in that. It's not power over them or power over universe. It's what the universe gave you to use to bring light to others. I have people that will always ask me, can I take a picture? I'm probably on 1 million Facebook profiles across the world because people were always asking me to take pictures standing next to me and stuff. It doesn't bother me. It takes a few seconds of my time. I'm not worried about my privacy or anything like that. It's going to make them happy. Fine. Now, there are plenty of people out there too that will take your gifts and they'll play them down, or you'll try to offer nicety and they'll be negative about it. I have just as many guys that walk up and go, oh yeah, I didn't know they stack shit that high, as much as I do to have people that walk up and go, wow, you're a giant. So, but you just have to go through that. That's just part of it. It's part of the whole experience. But you don't dwell on that. You keep offering what you have been given. You've been given a gift, and that gift is to be given out to others. So my thing is that if you're given a gift, it reminds me a lot of like what Jesus said. Now, just for the record, Jesus is not the only one that ever said this. And I'm sure some people won't agree with me on that, but it's true. This saying goes back eons. And basically that is to do unto others what you would want done to yourself. Well, each one of us wants to feel happiness. Each one of us wants to have a little laugh. Each one of us wants to have a moment where we forget about the problems of our everyday life, whether past or present or future. And if we can do that by sharing the gift that we have, then why wouldn't we? Right? I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help others. We're here to help others understand that they can do this too. If you can give something, it's the whole old saying, it's the thought that counts. It's better to give than to receive. And that's the whole thing with this gift, whatever your gift may be. The reason that this whole Real Talk came up was I was actually going to have a discussion today on religion and standard dogma religion and its effects on spirituality. That'll come up on another time. There's plenty of time to complain about religion. But I'm having this Real Talk because this morning when I was getting coffee, this girl came into the store and she walked by the counter and the girl's like, can I help you? And she said, no, I'm going to go stand next to the tallest man on the planet. I don't know this woman. I don't know her from anybody else, but she wanted to have a conversation with me about my height. She was very short herself. And we had a great conversation, and that's why I love it. Like I said, I took it for granted, and my whole life I took it for granted. We all make mistakes though, and if you don't realize yet that this whole experience is about making mistakes and learning from them, then you need to go back and restudy all that, because that's the whole purpose of it. But we had this conversation. She was under 5 feet tall herself, and we talked about her family being short, my family is actually short too. I'm an exception. My grandfather was tall. And she asked me, she asked, why don't you play basketball? And I said, well, when I was a child, I asked my father if I could play basketball, and he was a big football fan, and he gave me a football instead, and I tried out for the football team, and that did not work out as planned. I also said, whenever my father complained later on in life about being broke, I always used to joke with him, well, if you would let me play basketball, you'd be living in a mansion in Naples. I miss you, Dad. The whole point of this is that I get to interact with another human being in this experience. I get to interact with a complete stranger, learn a little bit more about them, and also share a little bit about myself. And I'm not saying that when you give out your gift, this is your goal. I mean, you can have conversations with people, or you can just walk by and you paint things, and you just want to walk by and hand out paintings, on 8x11s, and that's it. Some people are going to drop them. Some people are going to take them home, put them on their wall. You don't know it. Like I said, it's not. You don't need to worry about that. You just plant the seed and keep going. You have a gift. We all have one, and some of those gifts, they may be for you only, but I guarantee you have one that you could share with the world. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do in this real talk. I understand that, in our real talks, I understand that a lot of people say, oh, well, there is no self, there is nobody else here, it's all fake and blah, blah. Listen, folks, I agree with you, but I'm still here living in this experience. So while I'm here living in this experience, I'm going to take the gifts that the universe gave me, and I'm going to share them with other people that are in this experience. And I hope that you do the same. Because looking at it from a nihilistic standpoint of just like, oh, none of this is real, it isn't going to work for you. Trust me, I already tried that path. Take what you have, take what's been given to you, and give it to others. Share. And like I said, if it leads out to you having a conversation, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it doesn't matter. If you can just give that experience, just think about that. If you can just make somebody laugh, or make somebody smile, that's beauty right there. Every day I wake up, I ask the universe, God, source, the Cheesecake Factory, whatever you want to call it. I ask it, let me make somebody laugh today. Let me make somebody smile. Let me do something that doesn't benefit so much myself, but benefits them. Let me understand how I can help to make somebody else's day go a little smoother. Whether that's saying something nice to the girl that helps me at the coffee shop or something else, it doesn't really matter. That's all I really want out of this experience. I've lived this experience pretty much for the last, we'll say 45 years of this experience was just not caring. I'm not looking for brownie points. I'm not looking for favor of the universe or God or whatever. I'm looking for experience. I'm looking to help shift other people's experience. That's what I'm doing with all the videos. That's what I'm doing with the real talks. And I'm hoping that some of these things will happen with you and others as well. You have a gift. I would love to know about it in the comments. I know this was kind of a rant, but that's what real talks are. These real talks get at least 500 views every time we put one out. If out of 500 of you, we can get 10 of you to comment on what your gift is and how you give it away, that would be great. That's what this whole channel is about. The real talks, all the YHS videos, everything, this whole channel is about us conversing together in the comments and you taking what resonates and trying to apply it to your life. The moment that we don't see any of that happening, the channel is going to go away. And that's not a threat or anything. It's just because that means the message isn't really being heard. So we encourage you to go out there and share your gift. And share it with us. Share it with others. There may be hundreds of other people that have the same gift as you, and you guys can converse in the comments about it and maybe find better ways to share it. I know it sounds silly, but that's the whole point. That's the only reason we're doing this. We want to bring people together. I know that the world is such a disarray right now, but stop worrying about that. Stop worrying about what's going on with an election, what's going on overseas, what's going on here, what's going on there, and start worrying about how you can bring happiness, not only into your own life, but into somebody else's life. And just for the record, I was horrible at basketball. I love you all. Walk in light.
Until next time, my friends, I ask all people everywhere to plant seeds of love, peace, joy, and oneness. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And remember, I love you all. Walk in light.